I am joined now by local Detroit author, Dr. Eddie Connor Jr., who will be releasing his 6th book tomorrow, coinciding with Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and that is no accident. The book is called My Brother's Keeper. Dr. Connor is joining us live to tell us about it. Thanks so much for being here this morning. It's wonderful to see you.
Appreciate it. Glad to be here.
Tell us about this book, the inspiration for this book, and why it's so important that it comes out tomorrow.
Absolutely. You know, it comes really from my unique story. I'm a son of the city on the east side of Detroit, and really looking at my life, I'm a survivor of stage 4 cancer.
Yes.
And to find the can in cancer, to overcome obstacles, but also, as the cover art suggests on the book, to pull people out of what they're going through and to find strength through adversity. And really, so the premise behind the book is really about repairing, restoring, and reconciling ourselves to each other, our families, and our communities. And we're really in a state of emergency, is really code red throughout our state as well as our nation.
Now, I know that you really started on this prior to having the race relations get to the point where they are currently in our nation. We've seen so much going on with the strife with police departments and our African-American youth, and just it's been a very traumatic and trying time around the country.
It really is.
How does this fit in with all of that?
You know, Dr. King has a wonderful quote that he suggested. He says, we must learn to either live together as brothers or perish together as fools. Malcolm X says, nobody can give you anything. Nobody can give you freedom, justice, or equality. If you're a man, take it. And so really, when we have a serious aspect, and when we really talk about race relations, what is going on, the injustice in our community, where we look at, oftentimes we talk about the disease of violence and mass incarceration, but we fail to pull off the mask and look at the symptoms: joblessness, people vulnerably housed, lack of education, people who are thirsty really for justice, from Flint to Detroit, DPS school system. Look at all of those parameters, and we have to ask ourselves, is there not a cause to help somebody else other than myself?
Absolutely. I mean, when we don't have jobs, when poverty is what it is, when we don't have other alternatives, we have to really look deep to see how we solve those issues. I mean, these are big things. These are not easily solved, and certainly this book is some perspective on moving forward. Talk a little bit too, is it really aimed at more men, at our young African-American men?
You know, I like to say this, it's really for our boys, our men, and the ladies who love them. And so really it's cross-cultural, and I think it lends a panoramic perspective on various chapters that suggest literacy is key. There's another one, education or mass incarceration. So it really speaks to all of the aspects of life, and really to understand culture, to understand who we are as individuals. But it's also a manual for manhood. And so if you are a pastor, if you are a mentor, if you are a single parent mother, if you are anybody who just cares about the least of these, the left out, the lost, the overlooked, underserved, and underrepresented, this is a book that you need in your hand.
That's right. And black, white, Hispanic, whoever you are, this is a wonderful tome, really. Thank you so much for sharing with us. You are going to be sharing a little bit about it tomorrow. You're speaking at Eastern Michigan.
Yes, I am. Speaking at Eastern Michigan University, my alma mater, 10 a.m. So don't just meet me there, beat me there. One
of the many interesting and wonderful events happening on MLK Day.
Yes.
And just really briefly, because we only have a few more seconds, but what that man and his message has meant to you as a man.
My goodness. Dr. King is one of my heroes. And, you know, oftentimes we freeze him to make him a docile dreamer. But he was more than that. He was a doer.
He was a fighter.
And he was a fighter, absolutely. And so I stand on the, Sir Isaac Newton says you can see a lot farther when you stand on the shoulders of giants. Absolutely. And he's one that I stand on.
Well, we appreciate you standing there and coming in here and talking to us about your book, and for having the courage to write it, because that's no easy task.
Not at all.
Writing is a difficult venture, and we congratulate you.
Thanks
so much. All right, Dr. Eddie Connor with us today, and we'll be heading back to Charlie right now.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Connor.